Hello and welcome. It's the crypto day morning, 23rd day of September 2018. And another day of Bitcoin really hanging in there as there was a few days from barely below the 18 average of lows and four green candles up, which included a breakout of this double bottom formation, which is basically two U's or two V's, which is the first one in here, the second one down there. And since then, again, it's holding in there above the 18 average of highs, which is productive so far, but it's got a long ways to go to break the pattern of the lower highs. Not going to spend too much time within such. I'm going to quickly go through the shorter term time frames. First, the 3-hour, which had this level of resistance. Again, it got by that. You can call that the neckline to the double bottom formation, and since then, one, two, three, four, about a dozen and a half, close to 10 periods, as it has been just hanging in there within the 18 average. It came down on the 18 average of lows, and well, for the last half dozen or so, it has been staying well away from the 18 lows, but sticking in with the high, so showing strength amongst that level, which is a nice bullish sign, showing that it's had its move, it's done well correcting via that of time, and momentum breaking higher gives precedence for me for another leg to the upside, probably at and in the area of around 7,000 for the next leg. Amongst a single hour time frame, after this move higher, there's the price correction, and then this period in here, which is an okay green size one that takes it from the 18 lows to above the 18 highs, above the short-term level of resistance. And then we can see how it has correctly corrected, or successfully corrected via that of the 18 average. Then this green candle up to break out above it, back to the newly rising 18 average. So you see momentum coming in above there. Again, good reason. If not, if it continues to go through 18 sides out or goes sideways, mainly going or even breaking down below here, continuation of what has been a sideways range could still be the order of the day. It is a Sunday. I don't expect too much to go on, but the new business week starts again tomorrow. And that will be it for Bitcoin. I want to talk about trading strategies, and I look at this as like a game, and like in games like Monopoly and so many other games, you'll get cards that will be either positive or negative, and well, I basically look at this as a free swap card. Let's take a look at QTUM on the Binance pairing. And in looking at today's daily chart, it's got an outside day. You know, don't really count. I don't count it as an outside day. I count it as a higher high. But we take a look at this, say, on a single hour time frame. What just happened on this period? Interesting move. For me as a trader, I sold right here. And what I do when I make a sale, I'll put a new sell order in. So I put it in around 45. And I put a new buy order in at that of 34. So nothing happened until today when my buy order at 34 got hit. I mean, to me, this is like a free swap card or free trade that really shouldn't count. So what did I do? I sold at 39 up in here again. Put a buy order in at, well, 34 again. I'm just going to put it back and, well, sell order back again to where it would have been again, around 45 as the next sell order. And no need for me to do anything until price action either goes to the 45 or the 34 number. But when something like this happens, as long as the markets move, that's awesome in my book, because I want up and down moves back and forth. But once that just goes sideways, that sucks. But the market's going to do what it's going to do. I just like it when I could get trades along the way. Now, a lot of the markets have been going lower. And I want to use Komodo for this example. And this is a 3-day term time frame. Prices went straight down. And then we had the April Fool's rally. And a lot of these markets had some good selling opportunities. But good, satisfactory at best, because when the markets do this, it's basically in my strategy just continuously buying, 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 buying. I was fortunate enough to have some selling here and some buybacks. But even a few days ago, an interesting situation aroused. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this on a daily chart. I don't know if you'll see it too well. We should. This day here, right on here, September 20th. Let's look at this on an hourly time frame. And it was this hour here. The price was rallying from a low of 1587 up to 1943, and then it pulled back quickly. Now within Komodo, every time this thing moves like 1.5%-ish, I'm selling. So sell order maybe at say 1644, then at 1670 something I'd be selling, and then again at like 1690. So I had already been having a bunch of sell orders coming in throughout the late morning and early afternoon. And then when the 4 o'clock hour came, I'm going to show this on the 1 minute time frame. And within such, 2 periods or 2 minutes to go up and several minutes going lower. It was well over an hour of it just hanging in there beforehand. We can see that there was a little area where I would have been selling at about this time in here, 14 hours and 20 minutes. And it was a gradual uptrend going into that event. And I was noticing this thing moving. And it was going higher and higher and higher. And I was doing 2 things at this point. One, I was documenting the sell orders sort of like an accountant would in an accounting book, literally with a pen and paper. But then I also went on to Bittrex. This is Binance's site. So therefore, at 1411 hours, or 1611, 4:11 p.m. Eastern time, this thing breaks out from 1724 up to well over 1950. Let's take a look at this time frame at the Binance, or excuse me, on Bittrex. And amongst such, the 1611 occurs here, going from 1720, which is where the other one was at, 1725, but only goes up to 1775. The next period, it just hangs in there, and then it goes up to almost 18. Whereas the one on, it went up to about 1900, or 1950 rather, was the second period. This is what the low and the high was at 1611. This was the high and low at 1612. So it got up to 19,500, where this one only went up to 18. So I took as many Bitcoins as I could on Bittrex, which is all that I had on there, and I was able to buy at about 18,000, or 17 high rather. And I was selling at about 18 high on the other side. So that worked out very well. I went through everything that was going on, and because it took several minutes for me to do everything that I had to do, the price action was already down in here, where I was able to get all my normal sell orders that I'd already placed, which turned out to be well over a dozen of them, and I pretty much bought them all back immediately. So that's what I like about it when the markets move. Sort of like Ripple has been doing lately. This is its cross against Binance Coin. The 2 lines represent where my next sell orders and buy orders happen to be. So I don't do anything until it either crosses 64.78 on a bullish level, where I would sell, or it goes down to around the 4,200 handle, where I would then buy. Looking at this on a single hour time frame, you can see there's your move. Nice little green candle up, sideways consolidation for a few days. Nice gradual move up from September 20th in the wake up time frame to September 21st in the go to bed time frame. So the morning of the 20th, basically close to a day and a half or such, day and 3/4 within its move. My last sale was at about 70 handle, right up above here when it came in there. Then I didn't want to buy back until 50. So I got my buyback at 50. And now I'm waiting to buy at 42 or sell next at 65. And we'll just keep on going from there. But the whole point of this is when markets go, they can really go. Which, showing Ripple against Bitcoin, now we can see was such a case here last December. And I want to see how many of these moves I can get. Where in a case like this is a spot where it goes from over 5,000 Satoshi down to 37.48. So there's a buyback opportunity there. Basically a free trade. Here's a spot where it goes from 8,400 down to 63 along the way. And that's the point of the bull markets. And I want to get as many good ones as possible. But this was a spot here last year where you're at like 600 Satoshi. And then you go to like about 1,000. And then you have a move from pretty much around the 1,000 handle to about this, well, 7,000. About a 7x move. And then after the very day after that move, it has a big retracement, which manages to go back to the 18 at about, well, under 3,000, 2,700, which meant that it gave back about 3/5 of its value. Great buyback opportunities. And the volatility of the market determines where my buybacks and sell orders go into place. Because if these things go up monstrously high, then I'm going to be looking to buy back and sell at higher percentage rates. For normally, if I'm okay selling at, like, buying back at like 10-15% moves, I'll increase it. With Ripple, when I sold at 70 and bought at 50, that was a differential of 20 points on 70. Or 28%. Where normally I would have been buying back on a 15% reduction. But I'm like, man, the market's going up too high. I want to, basically, that's why it shows that number there. So when you get moves like this, where you get all the sell orders, you're like, okay, here you are at like 24,000. This is where putting buy orders back in at lower numbers like this, you can see how and why it pays off. So before, when the markets are just hanging in there doing whatever, you're taking smaller size moves. But after this here, you can afford to say normally, again, okay, pull back 15, 20%, I'm happy. Now, okay, pull back 30, 40%, 50%, I can actually get. And you did in a spot like this. And in spots like this here, if you end up, say, buying back at, like, say, 36 or 38 as it's going down and you knew you could have got better, well, big deal. If you bought here at 36, which enables you to get a free sell at, say, 64, hey, I'll take it. Thank you for tuning in to the Sunday video, and have yourself a great day and start of a new business week next week. Take care. Bye-bye.